Hey, and welcome back to another Coffee with Laura. Today I am here to talk to you about how to live into your values. So, for those who don't know, I love Brene Brown, and I got this exercise from her. And all of her books have such valuable insights and information that I have been so grateful for over the years because it's just really helped create some clarity in my life and some of my clients' life, and this exercise was no different. But to me, it really feels kind of like a lighthouse, like a guiding light that's showing me how to be because I kind of know who I want to be. I mean, I do know who I want to be, but let's be honest. When life gets busy, it's easy to forget who we want to be and not do the things we don't want to do. I feel like ever since we were kids and we were told what to do constantly, ever since we become adults, we're like, I only want to do what I want to do, minus the things that I have to do, like pay taxes and your bills and stuff like that. But I digress. A lot of times people base their decisions on others, what they think others are thinking, which ultimately is a projection of their internal space, or how they would perceive an alternative situation. I mean, it's all based in our own brain and how we would think of certain circumstances. And it's not really helpful because it leaves us constantly in a state of living based on others. What would they think? How would they judge me? What do they believe is right or wrong? And I get it. Like, I want to fit into, and I definitely struggled with this for many, many years. But at the end of the day, like, if we zoom out, we get one life. And the real gift we have is that we get to choose how to live it. And yet we aren't choosing. We're delegating because we're so afraid to stand out or not fit in and what that might mean or how it might feel that we don't know how to live. Now, some of these values are powerful ones like respect, authenticity, spirituality, fun, even is one. And it's pretty interesting when you go through it. So, what the exercise entails, and there's a great handout. So, this is mine, obviously it's filled out. If you want the handout, definitely DM me, and I'm happy to send it to you. But ultimately, it's 117 values, and the exercise entails you breaking it down to 15 that really embody, how you want to live, and then selecting the two that you want to live your life by. And then the second part is understanding the behaviors that embody that state of being and the behaviors that might be slippery, that you might need to be more focused on those moments, or and experiences where you've embodied those. So, why is this useful? Why should you do this? If you're here, it's largely because you're learning how to be healthy, not just only physically, but mentally and emotionally. And because we tend to live so much based on others, we don't completely know what we feel or how we think. You'd be surprised how many of my clients I literally ask them, what are you thinking and how are you feeling constantly? And a lot of times they can't give me an answer. That's not something to judge, it just speaks to the common experience that most of us actually have. Living into our values will help us stay in alignment with who we want to be. So I will use me, for example. The two words that are my values are balance and wholeheartedness. So, for example, balance is important throughout all aspects of my life. I want to have a balance in my marriage of giving and receiving, both with my husband, well, and myself, ultimately, receiving. I want to have a balance between how much I do and don't do, travel and don't travel, how much time I spend out and socially and not, how much time I work and how much time I don't work, which is always the one that's hard for me because I love my job. But what I've learned is the desire, the urge to achieve, to move things forward is very appealing to me. And when I'm given an instance of take a break, have a moment, I always fill it with something, but then at the end of the day, I'm drained and exhausted and I don't enjoy it. And I've learned that if I take a 10-minute break, 15-minute break, hour break, and then I just work 1 hour later, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, however long the break was, I feel re energized, happy, proud. And the only difference was I took a break in the middle of the day instead of just pushing and forcing through. So for me, balance shows up in saying no to opportunities I want to do to better keep myself in alignment, saying no to work opportunities sometimes so that I can continue enjoying my job, saying no to social engagement so I can spend time with my husband. That's balance for me. As for wholeheartedness, I use Brené's definition, which includes authenticity, self compassion, cultivating a sense of resilience, gratitude, joy, focusing on your intuition and trusting faith, having creativity, being calm and still, having meaningful work, prioritizing play, rest, laughter, song, and dance. So you can see in my words that there's actually a lot of words in them, or in my values, but that's how I want to live my life. So since I've done this exercise, have I wanted to do everything I've done? No. But I've done them because they embody my values. I mean, just the other day, I scheduled the time for me to take a break. Didn't really want to take a break. I wanted to work on my website, and I took a break. And at the end of the day, it was perfect because I still had love left to give to my husband. I was energized for my job. I wasn't completely drained or exhausted. Did I want to take the break? No. But what I needed to get done got done. It just got done a little bit later. So living into your values allows you to have direction. It gives you specifics about how to act. And when you're on the fence of, do I want to do this or not want to do this? That's not the right question to ask. Half the things we want to do, as in we want the outcome of, we don't want to do the work of. So we want the outcome, but we don't want to have the work to do it. So it doesn't always make sense. But when you have this guiding light, it's not about what you want to do. That's the light that guides you, and you follow the light. So I've had clients who have done this exercise who want to have play or fun as one of their main values. And they also want to have fun when they move their body or when they work out. So we come up with fun ways for them to work out. And they can be really hard workouts still, but as long as they're having fun, that's what matters to them. And they can have fun at work by playing games or being silly with themselves. And since then, their energy and their spirit has lifted so greatly. It's amazing. Whereas what they were focusing on before was control. Now that they're focusing on fun, one of them even got a promotion. And the boss said, I don't know what's changed in you. And she's like, I'm just having fun instead of trying to control everything. So it's hard to know what way to go sometimes. And when we're constantly always evaluating what we're doing based on what others might think or what we think would be best based on someone else's standards, which is always changing based on the other people, that sentence is just exhausting. This can actually give you some direction, which is pretty much what I've been saying in general. But if you're feeling like you could use a light, or that you want clarity about what you truly do value, because let me tell you, dropping 117 down to 2 is hard. But what I think is actually the best part of the exercise is identifying the behaviors that embody them, because that's how you're going to be able to stay in alignment with it. And as always, if you're not a Brené Brown fan, I strongly encourage you to read all of her stuff because she's amazing. But that's all I'm going to say for today. If you get the handout, it's going to give you more direction and it'll be easier. If not, that's totally fine too. But clarify for yourself, define for yourself 1 or 2 values that you want to be the code of your life, that you want to live by, so that you can show up as who you want to be and look back proud on how you did show up. But that's all I have today. So thank you so much for showing up, and I will talk to you next week, same time.